Welcome back to MysteryHQ. With the new Paradox Junction map, there are several new Dark Ops challenges and one of the hardest one is called Chronomancer. To unlock it, you need to complete the entire Paradox Junction main quest without paying to time travel. Normally players use the temporal conduit in the center of the map to jump between timelines, but for this challenge you can't buy it at all. Instead, the only way to time travel is by waiting for Red Hand runs, which happens every 5 to 6 rounds. At the end of each one, the game will force you to time travel, and because of the entire Easter egg revolves around this mechanic, doing it without optimization can easily push the game into very high runs. But in this video I will show you an optimized checklist of what to do during each time travel phase, plus a simple workaround at the end that makes this challenge trivial. So with that said, let's jump straight into it. Before we begin, this isn't a full Easter egg guide. If you are not familiar with the Paradox Junction main quest, I'd highly recommend watching a full guide first. I've linked one in the description. This video focuses purely on the Chronomancer challenge, and the key idea here is optimization. Normally you would complete the Easter egg steps in a specific order, but for this challenge we will combine multiple steps at the same time to save rounds. With the optimal strategy, the entire quest can be finished in 9 time jumps, which usually puts the boss fight around round 50, but every mistake can easily add another 10 rounds to the run. When you spawn in, there are a few things you should do immediately. First, grab the key and identify where the blundergat parts are located. Find the correct mannequin, black goo on the wall, and the spore, and each will make a distinct sound when the blundergat part is inside of them. And if the spore happens to spawn in the playable area, fill it right away to obtain the barrel. Next, grab and fill the vial with acid, and then you should just progress the rounds until the first time jump happens around round 6. And then in the past timeline you want to complete several steps. First, activate Pack-a-Punch. Then you should destroy the correct wall and mannequin to open the blundergat parts. After that, grab the final part inside the yellow house. And while you are there, also don't forget to pick up the swing part behind the yellow house. Once you are teleported back to the present, grab the parts and build the blundergat. This next section is actually the most important part of the entire run, and it's also slightly RNG dependent. If everything works perfectly, you can still aim for that round 50 completion. If not, the run usually shifts closer to round 60. So make sure you follow this order carefully. On the same first round in the present again, complete the RCXD step to open the garage, grab the chalk and interact with the swing. This is going to start the steps for the instruments, like all of them at the same time. So once the small cutscene ends, don't forget to grab the seed from the garage. Then you can skip the round. At the very start of the next 3 rounds, kill a zombie outside of the map using the blundergat, preferably while the fire tornadoes are active nearby. Right now this seems to be the most reliable way to force the tornadoes to spawn inside the map, which is required for the blundergat upgrade. Over the next 3 rounds, you must complete all 3 tornado steps. I'd also recommend using one or many rounds of gobblegums here, so you can surely get all tornadoes by repeating the same round. If everything goes well, you should still have 1 or 2 rounds left to stay in the greenhouse's backyard until the piano teacher zombie spawns in. The good news is that once she spawns in, she won't attack you and will stay in the backyard. So just make sure of 2 things. First, spawn her after finishing the tornado steps, just before you think the dog round is going to start, as it seems like she might die naturally after 1 or 2 rounds. But on the dog round, also be careful, cause she might also die in the toxic puddles. And also she is absolutely going to die if you forget about her and pick up a nuke. But let's talk about what to do when you are on the dog round. So you have to charm her as soon as that round starts, and she is going to run to the piano, and you can just quickly finish the round, the time travel will happen, and the piano is going to be active in the past. As you can see in this nuked version time frame that we just completed, you have to do a lot of things to make this Easter egg progress the way you want. And any mistake can easily cost you 10 extra rounds here. From this point onward, the remaining steps are fairly straightforward. If you are already familiar with the Easter egg, simply follow the checklist on the screen for each time period. I also display the steps in plain text so you can clearly see what needs to be completed during each timeline for the optimal run. When it comes to the mini games, don't worry if you mess them up, you can retry them without restriction on the same round, but you need to wait a full minute between attempts. If everything goes smoothly, you should enter the boss fight around round 50. And once the boss is defeated, the Chronomancer calling card will unlock. But as you can see from my gameplay, right now there's a workaround for this challenge. You can actually use the time travel portal as much as you would like while progressing through the Easter egg. You can reach the boss fight on any round. But before entering the fight, you have to simply save and quit, but make sure you do so in the past version of Nuketown. Once you load back in, the game essentially resets your teleport usage. So even if you use the temporal conduit like 100 of times earlier in the run, the game now treats the challenge as if you have never time traveled manually before. That means if you defeat the boss after loading back in, the Chronomancer cooling card will still unlock. But keep in mind, this is most likely unintentional and it will most likely be patched in the future. So if that ever happens, you will have to complete the challenge the intended way using my optimized strategy I explained earlier. And that's pretty much everything you need to know about the Chronomancer Dark Ops challenge. If this guide helped you out to unlock the calling card, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, it really helps the channel out. Thank you all for watching and I will see you in the next video.